extraocular muscles. So the competency is identifying and describing extraocular muscles of eyeball. The extraocular muscles are important to the movement of the eye. There are 7 muscles within the orbit. Of them, 4 are rectus muscle, 2 are oblique muscles, and 1 is levator palpebrae superioris. Origin of the rectus. They arise from a common tendinous ring, otherwise known as the annulus of Jin. It is a thickening of the periosteum located at the apex of orbital cavity. So in the picture you can see the annulus of Jin, that is made up of a thickening of the periosteum, and the rectus muscle taking origin from all the sides, that is above, below, medial and lateral. Insertion. The muscles then project forward, insert into 4 respective sides of eyeball. Superior rectus inserts into the superior part of the sclera via a tendon approximately 5.5 millimeters long. Inferior rectus inserts into the inferior part of the sclera about 6.5 millimeters from the limbus. You can see the limbus, that is the junction of the sclera on the cornea, that is called as limbus. Then we go to lateral rectus. Lateral rectus arises from the common tendinous ring, and also it has a second small head from the greater wing of sphenoid. It inserts into the sclera by means of a tendon approximately 8.8 millimeters long. Medial rectus is the largest muscle among the extraocular muscles and inserts into sclera via a tendon which is approximately 3.7 millimeters long. Oblique muscles. There are 2 oblique muscles, superior oblique and inferior oblique, and they insert into superior and inferior aspects of the eye. Superior oblique arises from the body of sphenoid, passes forward between the roof and medial wall of orbital cavity. One portion of inferior oblique arises from the floor of the orbit, and another arises from the fascia covering the lacrimal sac. They are inserted behind the equator. So in the picture you can see the eyeball is divided, that is iris is shown anteriorly, then one line is drawn in the middle that we can call as the equator. So the oblique muscles are inserted behind the equator, that give them their action, opposite action. Levator palpebrae superioris. It arises from the lesser wing of sphenoid, superior anterior to the optic canal. Then it branches into bilaminar aponeurosis and inserts into superior tarsus as well as the skin of the superior eyelid. Then we go on to describe another competency, that is nerves and vessels of the orbit. The extraocular muscles are supplied by oculomotor nerve, except lateral rectus, which is supplied by abducens nerve, and superior oblique supplied by the trochlear nerve. Oculomotor nerve. It divides in the cavernous sinus into superior and inferior divisions, enter the orbit separately through the annulus of Jin, Superior division supplies the levator, palpebrae superioris and superior rectus muscles. Inferior division supplies medial rectus, inferior rectus and inferior oblique. The branch supplying to the inferior oblique also carries preganglionic parasympathetic fibers to the ciliary body and iris sphincter, which synapse in the ciliary ganglion. Then trochlear nerve, the fourth nerve, enters the orbit outside the annulus after passing in the lateral wall of the cavernous sinus. It crosses from lateral to medial aspect of the orbit to enter the superior oblique. Abducens nerve or abducens nerve enters the orbit within the cone and travels along the medial surface of lateral rectus to enter it. Sensory nerves. Sensory nerves of the orbit are derived from ophthalmic division of trigeminal nerve with some contribution from the maxillary division. Ophthalmic nerve divides in the lateral wall of cavernous sinus into lacrimal, frontal and nasociliary branches. Lacrimal nerve supplies postganglionic secretomotor fibers to the lacrimal gland. Nerve supply to the lacrimal gland. Preganglionic secretomotor fibers originate in the facial nerve nucleus. They travel in the nervus intermedius to enter the internal auditory meatus. Then it passes through geniculate ganglion to reach the pterygopalatal ganglion via the greater petrosal nerve. Post synapse, the secretomotor fibers join the maxillary nerve, which leave via zygomaticotemporal branch to anastomose with the lacrimal nerve just before supplying the lacrimal gland. Frontal nerve. It divides into supraorbital and supratrochlear branches. Supraorbital exists at the supraorbital notch and supplies the brow, forehead and scalp up to vertex. Supratrochlear nerve passes medial to supraorbital nerve towards the trochlea and supplies the medial side of upper lip and forehead. Nasociliary nerve. The nasociliary nerve enters the superior orbital fissure, crosses the optic nerve. Its branches include anterior and posterior ethmoidal nerves, 2 or 3 posterior, long posterior ciliary nerves to the eyeball and the sensory route to the ciliary ganglion. It terminates as infratrochlear nerve, which supplies the medial canthus and the tip of the nose. Maxillary nerve. It enters pterygopalatal ganglion via foramen rotundum. The nerve passes through inferior orbital fissure as infraorbital nerve. It passes forward through the infraorbital canal, exiting at the infraorbital foramen, supplying the lower lid, the lower eyelid, skin, conjunctiva, cheek and upper lip. The zygomaticotemporal branch delivers secretomotor fibers destined to the lacrimal gland to the lacrimal nerve. Ciliary ganglion. The ciliary ganglion is on the lateral aspect of optic nerve, close to orbital apex. It receives a sympathetic, parasympathetic and a sensory route. Sympathetic fibers supply iris dilator. Preganglion parasympathetic fibers to the iris sphincter and ciliary body reach the ganglion by nerve to inferior oblique. The sensory fibers to the eyeball are supplied by nasociliary nerve. Only the parasol fibers synapse in the ciliary ganglion. 5 or 6 short ciliary nerves pass from the ciliary ganglion to the globe around the optic nerve and supply iris sphincter and ciliary body. Thank you.